I'm Abiola Jackson. This is the Entertainment News, Celebrity Gossip TV. It's for Saturday, June the 14th. In entertainment news, well, believe it or not, according to the Gossip, uh, so sorry, DDG apologizes to Halle Bailey amidst the custody battle. What a surprise! No one expected that, but yeah, he did. He did apologize. Believe it or not. We'll let you hear what he has to say. This is interesting. Let him speak on his apology, and then we'll comment on this afterwards. I'll give my thoughts on this afterwards.
Genuinely apologize for that time. I was young. I was just on the internet high. We had like past situations, or we had like little shit. Cause I done said some whole shit, and y'all know the whole little situation. The shit that I continue to do. It's a very, very touchy subject. I want to come on here and genuinely apologize for that time. I was young. I was just on the internet high. We had like past situations, or we had like little shit. Cause I done said some whole shit, and y'all know the whole little situation. The shit that I continue to do. It's a very, very touchy subject.
Well, my thing is on this particular situation. I've heard a lot of people on the internet and on social media discussing this very thing. I've heard people talking. I've heard people say what they've had to say on this. And my thing is, I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. Um, he obviously, in my opinion, he's obviously not he's not compatible with Halle Bailey at all. There's no compatibility in the relationship whatsoever. But with that being said, at the same time, your your son is at the forefront right now. So even though you guys aren't um, compatible, there's no compatibility between you and Haley Bailey whatsoever. That's why she's acting out on you and behaving the way she's behaving, because she doesn't respect you. She doesn't respect you. She has no respect for you at all. But with that being said, like I said, the main thing is the child. So his main focus is the child. So so this is the first step he took, is the apology. So the second thing is now he has to this is going to be a long shot, but he has to find a way for him and Haley Bailey to, at some point, it's not going to be right now, but at some point in time, they have to find a way. At some point in time, because she has a temporary restraining order against DDG. So I guess whenever that temporary restraining order is lifted, or what have you, or whenever that is, they're gonna have to amicably work together so that they can co-parent and basically raise that child together. Because it takes two. There's an old saying: it takes two to raise a child, properly. If you're gonna raise a child properly, it takes two to raise a child properly. You wanna raise him in the right way possible. So it takes two to make it work, to raise that child. So even though, like I said, DDG, in my opinion, DDG and Haley Bailey aren't compatible. There's no compatibility between them whatsoever. At least for the child's sake. At least for the child's sake, they have to. They at some point they're gonna have to work on raising that child. Do some co-parenting and raise that child. Because, like I said, it takes two to raise a child. So so in this case, there's going to be some co-parenting going on. Whenever that temporary restraining order is lifted, they basically, in my opinion, whenever eventually They have to see. They have to basically work out some sort of situation where they can raise the child properly, raise the child together, and raise them properly by co-parenting. Because that's the only, because remember, they're doing this for the sake of the child. It's very, very important. So at this point in time, that's the main focus. That's the main focus for DDG at this point. At this point in time, that's the main focus. Don't worry about getting back together with Halle Bailey. You guys are not compatible. There's no compatibility, like I said, and it's been proven. It's been proven here. It's been proven through. It's been proven already. It's been proven already. So the main thing is focus on the child. Raise that child right by co-parenting. That's the main. That's the number one focus. More than anything, is the child. Because the child, you want to make sure the child grows up, and he's not confused, or he's not led astray. He grows up in a proper environment. You don't want him to grow up in a toxic environment. You don't want your child growing up in a toxic environment. That's why I say it's important for both parties to co-parent and raise that child properly. Whenever that restraining order is lifted, whenever that is, I don't know when that's going to be, but they have to work that out for the child's sake. For the child's sake. For the child's sake. That's my take on that. Dude, for the child's sake. But I know I know some people, like I said, some people see it differently. Some people think that DDG, he should have apologized. He should have went in and kept bashing Halle Bailey because of what Halle Bailey did to DDG. But somebody has to be the bigger person. Obviously, someone's got to be the bigger person. DDG took steps to be the bigger person, and he took the initial step to be the bigger person here to issue his apology. So I mean, you can't at some point, you're trying to basically move forward. You're not trying to move backwards. So that's what DDG is trying to do, move forward in this case. So, I mean, like I said, some people ain't gonna agree with that, but in the case of DDG, since there's a child involved, you're being the bigger person for the child. It's for the child, because you have a child involved. Because you want to raise that child. You want to raise that child correctly and properly when you co-parent, or whenever that's going to be. So, like I said, some people are going to disagree, but it is what it is. I mean, some people are going to disagree with DDG apologizing or whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, that's my thought. That's my thoughts and opinions on that. That's my thoughts on that. So, a lot of people have chimed in on this. People are saying a lot of people have chimed in on it. People are saying here, as you can see, a lot of people have chimed in here. Let's look and see here. One person said, I was young when? Yesterday? Another person says legal advice and direction. That's what another person said. Another person said, you was young, but was cutting up a week ago. Another person basically saying here, I'm just giving you guys a few examples of what the reaction is from certain people. Another person basically said here, it's something he doesn't want to be known. Haley speaking your truth if you desire. And then someone laughed and said, Lamo, she must have some good evidence. So I mean, so those are the these are the reaction that people are saying. So people are just giving their own thoughts and opinions on this. I've said what I have to say on this. Like I said, DDG is trying to be the bigger person for the sake of the child, because the child means a lot to DDG. Even though, in my opinion, him and Halle Bailey, they're not to me. They're not really they're not compatible. They're not compatible. So, like I said, he apologized, did what he did. Again, it's for the sake of the child. He's doing it for the sake of the child, so that because the child, like they said, his son, Halo means a lot to DDG. So he, like I said, he wants to make sure he's in at some point whenever the restraining order is lifted. He's trying to be a part of his life, be a part of Halo's life. So I mean, like I say, he took the initial first steps. So we'll see what's next. We'll see, of course, what's Halle Bailey's got to say. Let's see her reaction on this and see what she's gonna do. How she's gonna react to this. Let's see if she's gonna take his apology, or if she's still gonna give DDG a hard time. That's the question. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, he's doing. He issues his apology. Again, trying to take the initial steps in his mind to do what he feels is right. Others might disagree. It is what it is. Like I said, I have nothing else to add or say about this. I've said what I have to say. I gave my thoughts on this. Hit the like and subscribe button. More entertainment news, celebrity gossip TV. That's all I gotta say. Until next time, peace and love.